I
Someone's
love
been
this new
playing with
program.
toys.
I love this new program.
I seen the logo pop up.
Yep.
That was cool.
Okay. So, welcome back to Tunes Brothers. It's been a long time, it seems. We got Scotty, we got Darren, and we have what going on here, Scott?
Well, we got our third Kiss album coming up. We got our debut, not debut, but our third Kiss album. We're making it from side 4 of Live 2 and the
That is
solo
third.
album. 12 tracks. Lead off track, flow of the center, and the end off track. It's going to be kind of interesting in a way.
Okay. Darren, your thoughts on this experiment of these 5 albums, actually?
Yeah. You know, this one was probably the hardest one for me so far, just because like 75% of the solo albums are all fucking shit. I mean, I don't know what the fuck Peter Criss was thinking. Because I normally like Peter Criss's voice.
Not on that album.
Oh fuck! I don't know where he went. I love the concept of the 4 solo albums. The concept, the turnout was the complete opposite of the concept, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm not the big Kiss historian, but I'm assuming one of the driving factors of the solo albums was because of the issues going on within the band around the time. So
that's what a lot of people say, but I've also heard that it was in their contract to do that. So I've not heard that as much, but I have heard it from a few people, man. So I don't really know what it all boiled down to. Now they do use that excuse that we were sick of each other. We were burning out, which hell they was, and that's why we done it. But I also heard it was on the Casablanca contract too.
Well, even if it was contracted, like you said, I like the concept of it. Like I said, I don't know where the hell Chris Scola went on this one, and then Gene Simmons, I think he wanted to be the fucking 5th Beatle.
He wanted to be Disney.
Oh my God, it was bad. So the final output for for this third album of ours, it's pretty heavy on 2 people. So yeah.
You take half the Aces, take half the Pauls, and put them together, and you got a damn good freaking Kiss album.
I mean, and Paul's is a good album, but there's some of it on there that's just too slow to be. I mean, some of the better songs are the slower ones, but I didn't want to put all of that, the slowerness on one album. So,
okay. Well, I could have put Paul Stanley's entire solo album on here and added a couple from a live 4, side 4, and I'd have been done. But I tried to be a little bit more. We'll find out.
All right.
Anyway, Scott, you want to start us out?
I'll start us out, man. Okay, I am kicking off this album with, in my opinion, one of the baddest ass tracks that's ever been written by this band and ever been done by this band. And unfortunately, they've wiped their ass with it because, in my opinion, I don't know if they've ever even played this damn song. And it's All American Man. Track 1. It's one of the baddest fucking songs Kiss has ever freaking recorded, bar none. It's a hard rocker, bro. And Paul's voice on it, he starts using a deep Paul voice on this song, and it sounds fucking awesome. I love it. It's a hardcore Kiss, man, of the 70s right here, man. Number one.
Okay. Darren.
I don't know if I can't disagree, and I don't know if I can agree on Scott's saying it's one of the best that they've ever written, because they've written so many good ones. But I also start my album off with the rocker All American Man. Yeah, it's a great tune. Like I said, I think it's a perfect start to an album. It starts it off right, in my opinion.
Okay. My number one is probably the best off of Gene's solo. And I put this side one number one because it's the only one on the list that's got a true intro as far as setting up what's to come. And I love the intro to Radioactive. I love the song to Radioactive. Yeah, it's not a banger like All American Man to really rip your head off, but that intro just, that would be ill-placed somewhere in the middle. That has to lead off one of the sides, and I chose side one.
All right.
Awesome. Okay. Number two. We're going to jump on to the Paul Stanley solo album, A Double Dose of Paul, to start the album off. Wouldn't You Like to Know Me? Great freaking song. One of my favorite songs on that album, always has been. Just two rockers coming out the gate, man. Yeah, you're limited on these albums, except like Darren said, with a couple of them. If you're going to bring it, you know. And to me, that would be a great song to come after All American Man. Of course, if it was, you know, you got two different productions here, man, but if it was on the same album, it would be produced the same. So you're going to have kind of the same sound. So that's my number two. Great song.
Okay. I also went with A Double Dose of Paul to start off. I also went to his solo album, but I chose the track Move On. I have notes in two different things, because I did a lot of my stuff while I was on the out and about. What do I don't even know if I have anything that I can find in a Two Shakes of a Lamb's Tail here, but yeah, I don't see it.
Move on. The chicks, man.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I don't have anything else to say on it.
All right.
Not bad.
My number two, often described as one of Paul's best songs ever. It's All Right. I move into to keep the tempo escalating. Like I said, Radioactive, not the fastest song to open an album, but coming into It's All Right, that'll get the tempo going in the right direction. Phenomenal song.
Yes. Yeah, it is. A hard thumping ass song, bro. That would have been a good lead off track too, man. Yeah. Number three for me, I'm going to jump onto Gene's solo album for the first time, and it's my favorite song off of his solo album. It's See You Tonight. And
wow, you're bringing it down tempo right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Track number three, we're going to let you breathe a little bit. And it ain't always been my favorite on there, but man, you know, I hate to use a stereotypical MTV Unplugged, you know, kind of open your eyes to a song, but damn sure did on some of these songs that they done in that, man. And this is one of them. And I've always enjoyed the song, but damn, it's a great. I love it as a Beatlesque type song.
All right. I went to Fraley's solo album for my third song, and I went with New York Groove. I have always enjoyed this song. I know it's a cover, but
have you heard the original?
It blows.
Really? I like it.
Really? I'm not a big fan of the original. I like the way Ace does it. It might be could be the fact that obviously it's the one that I've heard the first. Like I said, I've always enjoyed it. So I think it was a good fit here at this spot.
Okay. My number 3 was Darren's number 2, and it is Move On. This song is exactly what the title says. It moves. Singing this one live would be taxing, I would think. But I love this song. I love the lecture or worldly life advice that his mother's given him here. It's just clever. I really like what they did with this song. I love the groove of it and Paul's voice. Like every song on this album is just at peak Paul. So great song. Move on.
Everything but your favorite song on that album. Hold me, touch me.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure Rob still has plenty of wet dreams where Paul Stanley's holding him.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
All right.
Number 4. We're going into Ace Frehley territory now. I'm in need of love, and I'm hoping you're in need of me, man. I love that freaking Maria. I don't care. It don't bother me. He does it through the whole song, but I love it. It fits. That wow, 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 man. Ace sings this song so damn good. And most of his album he does. I was really surprised by his solo album, man, not hearing him sing but a couple of songs, up until this point. But yeah, man, I'm in need of love. Ace Frehley shows up for the first time in track number 4. Great jamming tune.
All right. For my number 4 song, I went back again to Paul Stanley's solo album, and I can about imagine Paul serenading Rob on this song, Tonight You Belong to Me.
Oh, okay. I was fixing to say.
you thought he was going to do the hold me, touch me thing, huh?
Yeah, oh, man.
Nope,
that would have had to been a joke. Not bad. I like that song. Intro a little long, but I think it's badass.
All right, my number 4, sticking with the man himself. Wouldn't You Like to Know Me? Probably top 5 Paul Stanley song ever. Definitely my favorite. Well, my favorite up tempo on this album. I've always, since I first heard it in my youth, just been addicted to this song. The chorus, the pre-chorus really moves and sets up that chorus. Absolutely magical song.
Agreed. Number 5. We're coming back to Paul Stanley's solo album. You're going to hear that quite a bit. Take Me Away Together is one, bro. I mean, and we're talking, this song here is the surprise song on this freaking album to me over the years.
And ignored by every Kiss podcast, by every Kiss commenter, and Kiss themselves. I don't get it.
I don't get it, bro. They're just not paying attention or something, man.
Yeah.
Hey, this song here will pick you up and take you down so many times, man. But when he starts into that damn chorus, man, fuck, man, get out of the way, bro. I love it.
This is the song that I had ranked the highest on my review of that album, but I didn't put it on here. I know I wanted to, but every time I did, it's like I don't know if I can slow it down that much. But it's probably. I mean, Rob is right to say that the one that you were just talking about being your favorite up-tempo song. This is
It's all right.
Yeah, well, it's
Oh,
a
no,
slow.
no, 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 no.
No,
Wouldn't you
not.
like to know?
Wouldn't you like to know me?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
that's his favorite up tempo, but he said I left this one off of mine. Just I thought it was too slow. But probably a bad choice on my part.
Yeah, it's your
That's
album,
your
man.
album.
Um,
Yeah.
For my, what are we on? 5.
Five.
Yeah. For my number 5, this is where I put "It's All Right" by Paul Stanley. I thought,
Yes.
again, his solo album is so strong. Like Rob had said to start it off, it could have been very easy to put all 9 tracks of this album on one,
No.
with interjected with a couple others, but yeah. Anyway, "It's All Right," number 5.
All right, my number
Hell
5.
yeah.
We're gonna slow it way down with one of the most underrated and untalked about Paul Stanley ballads, "Ain't Quite Right." From the
Oh,
guitar, although simple but beautifully melodic guitar work by Bob Kulick on here. Just the whole vibe of the song. It's in a tempo of its own. I don't, off the top of my head, can't remember any song like this by anybody. It's not your typical sappy ass ballad, but it's not a power ballad. It just kind of hangs in between, but I love it. I mean, this is one you light the candles, turn down the lights, and just fucking go into full meditation mode. My only beef with this song is it isn't long enough. So there you go.
yeah, and you can turn it up with that one too, man, and it still does rock, man. I mean, I like that. It didn't make my cut, but I've grown over the years to love. I love that song, the tempo change in it too. Yeah. Okay, I'm in the
Is
middle
"Ain't
of
Quite Right" different than "Can't Get Right"?
A little bit different.
Okay.
It's about
Can't get right's one of the commenters on my other channel.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay, I'm going to end off side 1 with track 6 with a shot in the arm from Ace Frehley, "Snowblind." Yeah, we're going to come out pretty heavy and rocking, man. And great song, like I said, man. A little over half of his album and Paul's album, both, man. Combine them, you got a damn great Kiss album, man, in my opinion. I notice everybody's probably seeing a trend here on this one, with the solo albums, that is. But yeah, "Snowblind," one of the heaviest tunes on Ace's solo album. Love it.
Okay. I also chose to end side 1 with an Ace Frehley tune. I chose "Rip It Out."
Mm.
Yeah, another rocking song. I think it, like I said, it finishes off side 1 with a bit of a bang. I picture Ace's, I don't know, like nonchalant stance as he's just grinding out the solos. I mean, he doesn't. I don't think he gets all the respect that he deserves for what he did for guitar work in the '70s. But I think "Rip It Out's a great tune.
Okay.
Yeah, man, my favorite song on that album. Yeah.
I'm gonna get back onto the heavy side to end side 1 with another killer song that I would love to have had as a staple over the years. "Larger Than Life." Just an amazing demon-esque type song. This thing is badass. This would have fit well in the Creatures Lick It Up era. Absolutely love this song. Another one that's tragically underrated. Obviously, they crapped all over the entire side 4 through the years, with the exception of "Rocket Ride," and that was just to appease Ace because they got, only "Shock Me" really to go to for him. But this one could have easily been a mainstay.
Yeah, I feel like they shit on Rocket Ride too, man. I mean, they might have thrown it in there temporarily, but it was not much at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't. All right, we're gonna start off side.
All right, back in we go, and we left off finishing side 1. So yeah, it's to you guys.
Okay, and I'll be taking off with the beginning of side 2 on my Kiss album, third Kiss album, that is. And I'm going to start off with Rockin' in the USA. We're going to start off with Gene's song. I like that, man. Gene starting off side 2 with Rockin' in the USA. When I was young, it was my favorite song on side 4. As I've gotten older, it's not, but I still like the song and what it represents. And it's a jamming tune.
All right.
All right. I'm kicking off side 2 the way Roberto kicked off side 1.
This is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
That's with the Christine 16 clone of Radioactive. I swear to God,
Really?
you can interchange the lyrics. I mean, the beat and everything else is like identical to Christine 16. Still a good song. But yeah, Radioactive. It's not to break the suspense, but it's the only Simmons sung song on this album for me. I didn't want to go to land to get any of his other shit. So
the only Simmons sung song off the solo album, or period?
Period. On this album, it's the only Simmons sung song for me.
Wow. Okay. Then I will start off side 2 like you two started off side 1 with a 6-foot hot nut all-American man. Badassery from Paul. Great song. One, again, that should have been a staple at least for a decade or two. Brought in here or there, whatever you want to do, but certainly not ignored. But what do you do?
Yeah, I know, man. That's one song that I never did understand why it never got in the lineup at least half the damn time. But anyway, all right, second song on side 2 for me. I think that Darren has already touched on this one on side 1. Rip it out, man. Take my heart. You wanted it from the start. Got a triple dose of Ace so far. It looks like we're going to be working on the Unmasked album for Ace almost with all his songs, but we're not done yet. But yeah, my favorite song off of the solo album from Ace Frehley, Rip It Out. Rocking ass tune. Just great guitar solo. Love everything about it.
All right. Darren?
All right. Second on this album, or on this side for this album, I have the Frehley sung What's on Your Mind?
What's on your mind?
And for Scotty, I think what's on his mind is Commanders football. Again, there's a lot of Frehley and a lot of Stanley, and Peter Criss is completely absent from this album. But yes, what's on your mind?
We're not done yet. Peter might show up on Rob's album. All right, go, Rob. It's on you.
Number 2, the most played song, and I don't know why. I love the song, but to me, it's nowhere near the top, but it still fits in on this album, Tonight You Belong to Me. It is a legendary song, one that has, been respected by the band throughout the years. Not a lot, but enough. And again, as a kid, I liked that intro. As an adult, I really wish it would just start with the heavy guitar, but Great song, Tonight You Belong to Me. Number 2 on side 2.
Number 3 on side 2, believe it or not, we're going to revisit the Gene solo album again. And it is the man of
When You Wish Upon a Star?
faces. Huh? Yeah,
When You Wish
that just about made it. It just about made it. I did start to do that and Fractured Mirror and Hold Me, Touch Me and something off Peter Chris's album just for a freaking foul up, fuck up gag, man, just to see if y'all took me serious or not, but I wouldn't have been able to hold that one in.
No.
But anyway, Man of a Thousand Faces. Gene Simmons gets his second and only solo album song on this album, and it's one of the songs on there that I've always liked. Not my favorite, but I do dig the song, always have. There's not much on there that I do go to anyway. So that's my third song on side 2.
All right.
Actually, wait a minute. That one actually got the spot because I was desperately reaching on Peter Chris's album. I was just freaking reaching, man. Anything, is there anything? That one got the spot the Peter song would have got. So continue.
All right. I know that Rob had this one on side 1. This is Wouldn't You Like to Know Me by Paul Stanley, of course. One of the better songs off of his solo album, which is 95% kick ass. I mean, it's the best, obviously, of the 4 without saying.
Whoa.
What?
Could you repeat that again slowly so Scott can understand you?
Paul's solo album is the definitive best of the 4, bar none, period.
You get that, Scott? You get that, Ace fan?
I'm gonna go.
If it's any consolation, Ace is second.
I can live with that, man. Paul and Ace's it's pretty much damn even Steven for me almost. Ace might have maybe 1 or 2 more songs that I dig, but as far as their solo albums, those 2 are pretty much neck and neck for me. So yeah, I can't really say nothing about that.
All right.
Number 3 on side 2, Scott's number 1, Rockin' in the USA. Great song. Another one I would have loved to hear live. They got so many great songs. I kind of get their dilemma a little bit, but it's still frustrating, right? That you never get to hear half of these songs you love. But that one it's a great, concept where he's listing all the countries and all that stuff, and there's nowhere else like, USA. I mean, it's just cool.
A rally song, man.
Yeah.
Shout it out loud, rock and roll over, rock and roll.
Yeah.
Rock and
Roll
roll
Over is a good song.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Over. That song is on the album Rock and Roll Night, right? Okay, so number 4.
Next up for me is back to the Paul Stanley solo album, and to me, the best song on Paul Stanley's solo album is It's All Right. High tempo. We're getting toward the end of this album, so we got to start chucking out some punchy in the teeth kind of vibes, man. A song that's just absolutely powerful, man. I can remember the first time I actually listened to his solo album, dude. This one, and there was a couple of them, but this one's the one that always stood out as the hardest one on the album, the heaviest. It didn't really have a solo in it, you know. That's the only thing that, you know, I guess it kind of got me, but it didn't deter the song any. Great song.
Okay. For me, song number 4 on side 2 is going back to Ace Frehley's solo album, and that is Speeding Back to My Baby.
Yeah.
Again, it's, as far as the solo albums go, Stanley is 1 and Frehley is 1B. I mean, they're close, but I still think Stanley beats him out. This is definitely a rockin' tune. You know, up until I think the solo albums, it was, I mean, Ace had only had a couple of tunes, right?
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
One shocked me.
Shocked me. Was the only one.
Well, he had Rocket Ride too.
Oh yeah, off Live 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it though.
But good stuff. Speeding Back to My Baby.
All right. Number 4 for me is, my opinion, the greatest power ballad of all time, and that is Take Me Away Together As One. Probably Paul Stanley's single greatest vocal performance in his entire career. Oddly enough, to me and Scott's confusion, watching Kiss podcasts over the years, nobody talks about this when they talk about that album. I don't understand it. Paul doesn't bring it up. I mean, this is one of the greatest vocal performances he's ever done, and it just goes unmentioned. Not to mention the killer drum fills on the outro of it. I mean, it's just a top-notch ballad, kick you in the teeth, ballad, kick you in the nuts. I mean, it's just an amazing song. So there you have it.
Super power ballad too, man.
Yeah.
When it changes up, dude, it'll kick your fucking face in. Yeah, man. Love it. All right. We're getting down to the end of the album. Song number 5 on side 2. Ace shows up again with Rocket Ride. Probably my favorite Ace Frehley song of all time. This is
with Kiss or just period Ace Frehley song.
It's probably my favorite song by him that he's ever been involved in.
Okay.
I mean, I love this song, man. Shock Me. I've always loved it. I love a lot of Ace's stuff, but Rocket Ride just got power, man. I mean, it's just a freaking high octane, tempo changes, drum solos, and the way that song ends, man, it just sounds like a freaking wrecking ball, man, hitting the damn building, dude. Just bam, everybody's just bam, you know, it's just fucking badass, man. The way he plays, his guitar sound through it, man, that spacey feel, Rocket Ride.
Well, I don't often see eye to eye with Scotty, but this is the second time that he and I have lined up. I have Rocket Ride in the same position. I wholeheartedly agree that this is another rockin' tune. I mean, I've gone back to back with Frehley songs here in the 10 and 11 spots. Yeah, I mean, as far as songs he's ever been involved with, I mean, it's up there. It's a good tune.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5, I got coming in a power lead song in Love in Chains. I know Scott's not crazy about the way this is produced with the pauses and all that stuff, and I get part of that, but the guitar is so strong in this. It just is the sound. I don't know if it's 2 guitars tracked together, kind of like Detroit Rock City, or if it's just one guitar overdubbed. But man, it is a big, solid sound, and Paul's vocals are very strong. It does have that weird pause to where you could hear a pin drop, as Scott would say, after a lot of lines. But if that's what they were going for, whatever. I love the song, so that's number 5.
Number 5. Okay, we're ending off the album with a monster ass punch. So this is going to leave people coming back for more. When another album comes out, I know that Rob has used this song already. I don't know about Darren, but My Love Is Larger Than Life. Freaking bad,
Yeah.
freaking ass, man. I mean, the drums. Don't even talk about the guitars, how spectacular, and Gene's voice in this song, but the power of the fucking drum, man. Peter Criss is. People can say what they want to about Peter Criss. I don't really care, but damn, man, that is
You sure
probably
he played on that?
yeah,
On a
it was
live
Ace
4?
that did
Did he?
play. Yeah, it
So it
was
was
Ace
just
that did
Ace.
play.
Okay.
Yeah, man,
Okay.
those are Peter drums, man. I mean, listen to Rocket Ride, listen to Larger Than Life, listen to All American Man. That's fucking Peter Criss, bro.
Okay.
So whatever, man. He is a hell of a drummer, and not only
Yeah.
don't get the credit that he deserves, but just get shit on, man, by people.
You know, he never did get the credit, not even in the 70s. I mean,
I know, man. You know, I mean, so, but anyway, like I said, they can say what they want to, man. I love the guy, you know, and the power he brung when he did have it, man. No, he wasn't the same Peter when they got back together again. Hell, he was already, 50-something year old. He still done a great job when I seen him, dude. I had no problem with him, but he wasn't that Peter that was sitting there just, slamming everything, the hotter than hell Peter. Well, hell, I guess not, But
yeah.
anyway, Larger Than Life, extreme powerful song, great song, rocking song to end off.
Okay. For me to end side 2, not only with a great song, but a fitting title. And I started with Stanley and I'm ending with Stanley's Goodbye.
Yeah, man. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Damn right. That's a good song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect way to wrap it up. I mean, it's tough for me to put Paul's solo album in any order of which one. I mean, obviously there's 2 for me that really stand out as the top 2 on his solo. That's Take Me Away, Together as One, and It's All Right. But Goodbye is coming in probably a close third overall. But yeah, that's the way I finish off the album.
Yeah, I like it. I like that song.
And that is the way I end the album. That is the perfect message. I'm coming back. It's not really goodbye. It's just so long, basically. Perfect way to tie it up. The melodic guitar intro in this, coupled with that amazing breakdown. Just an amazing song. And yeah, Darren, we did have to rank these songs on Paul's album, and it was not fucking fun.
Yeah, like the lowest grade I gave any one song, and that's just one, and that was a C.
Hold Me, Touch Me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn,
I mean, other than that, and again, like I had said, take that away from Paul Stanley, so it's not identified with Kiss. That's probably a top 40 hit. It's a decent song. It's just not what you want to hear Paul Stanley doing. But it's such a strong album. It is so hard to pick favorites for me because this, like I said before you joined in again, this is probably my favorite rock album of all time, not just Kiss album. So it was extremely hard for me.
I mean,
I'll give you this. If it hadn't been for that song, that Hold Me, Touch Me song, I could probably go with Paul's album over Ace's, maybe. But that's
the consensus that song really hurt the album. But
yeah, but I would say it'd be pretty hard to blame or put down an album based on one song. Do you know how many albums half of it is shit. I mean, look how many AC/DC put out with half of it.
I think the problem was that was the promo song for the commercials, for the album.
Not only that,
They put
single.
Paul's, they put Paul's solo album up on the screen, and it'd be "Hold Me." It's like, what are you doing to me?
It's single, man. Are you kidding me? It's like, wake up, dude. Your Kiss, man. Come on.
Yeah, they were going for the radio play.
Yeah.
Labels aren't always the smartest, obviously. I mean, how many times have we talked about bands that either the label put out the wrong songs or didn't give them any support at all? So,
and ladies and gentlemen, this channel is smart enough to know with viewership wise, but anybody from my reaction channel, understand the label makes those decisions. Very rare does the band have any say on what gets released as a single. The label's paying for it. The label's at risk. They make the call. Period. Bottom line. That's the way it goes.
Yep.
So stop crediting bands for knowing which song to release. Very rare. Is it ever there?
I mean, unless you are a individual act or a band that completely 100% produces their own crap. I mean, I shouldn't say necessarily crap, right? I mean, one of the more newer bands, even though they've been around quite some time, they've done all of their albums themselves. As far as I know, they've never been a part of a label. Nobody has ever told them what songs to release. They're constantly on tour, but they put out new music frequently. But they produce it themselves, and they're the ones who pay for all the CDs and vinyl, and so it's 100% done by the band. So it is very, very rare that an album, and maybe once that you've had some sort of huge success, and possibly after your first or maybe even second deal with that label, you might have a little bit more input. But I would still say it's not 100%.
Yeah. And anybody that, what I wanted to say, that about our album here too, before we finish up, I just want to tell, the audience, look, Peter Criss, I wanted him to make my album at least one song, but there just was nothing worthy on that solo album, and I still feel the same way, man. I mean, nothing's changed. It boiled down to two songs.
Gave more love to everybody than me and Darren did, and I gave the least, because outside of Alive 4 and Radioactive, it's all Paul's solo album. There's no Freely on here. There's no Peter on here. And I think Freely's album is pretty decent. I give it like a 7 out of 10. But with the exception of Hold Me, Touch Me, not one song, in my opinion, on Freely's album outdoes any other song on Paul's album. It just doesn't happen. And it comes down to vocals for me. Vocals is the first thing that catches me on a song, and Ace Frehley will never compete with Paul Stanley. That's just the way it goes, in my mind.
No, I agree with that. Hell, I'm not no fucking idiot.
Yeah, they're definitely not in the same league vocally.
But Ace, it got a little unrealistic. I didn't get too carried away. I think I had 4 tracks of Ace on here. He did get 3 tracks on the Unmasked album, the most he had ever had on a Kiss album.
And you love every one of those songs, right? On Unmasked?
Hell no, I hate every one of those damn songs. That's what ruins the damn album to me. It's Ace's songs, man. Jesus Christ, bro. Don't even get me going down that road. But anyway, it come down to 2 Peter Criss songs. It was I Can't Stop the Rain is a ballad, and that's the kind of sugar Papa likes.
Papa likes, yeah. See, if I had to pick one, it would be Tossin and Turner, which isn't even his, but
yeah.
Which one's the one with the funky 70 synthesizer? You Matter to Me or something?
Dude, I think I've listened to that only because I had to for our video.
Yeah,
other than that,
listen to that. listening to that album, I spend a lot of time regurgitating in the bathroom. I had a hard time even.
That is definitely not
and
a
I'd listened to it
album.
before. I knew how trash it was, but I still had to listen to it again just to make sure something couldn't squeeze its way in. But and Rob, I feel for you. Like I had a hard time not putting more Paul Stanley songs on there, but I didn't want to be your twin and do that. And there's enough of Fraley's album that's still good enough to get on there.
It is definitely a good
album. If I wanted, but if I was putting my money into an investment, just so I get something back on album sales, I wouldn't have put that much Ace on there.
And like I said, no disrespect to Ace. That is by far his best accomplishment ever, is that 78 solo album. It's just not, his voice isn't for me at all times like Paul is. So if you got songs that are relatively close, I give the nod to the vocals that are more pleasing to me. I will say he needs to stop patting himself on the back to this day as recent as Rocktember, bragging that his album sold the most. You take his remake, New York Groove, off of that fucking album, and that thing sells like Peter and Jeans.
Hey, if you hear Gene say it, his didn't sell the most.
That's what I'm saying.
Did. Oh, Jesus.
That's what Gene says his album sold more than
Gene's album didn't even crack an A on mine. The highest one was a B. A 1B, a B minus.
Everybody bought his album. I mean, because
I would have bought it. I would have bought it too if I hadn't
got it
previously, because I like Gene Simmons. I like his demon-esque voice, but he went fucking, like you guys said, Disney. To me, there were a couple of songs sounded like they were, trashed Beatle tunes that he dug out of a dumpster somewhere and decided that he was going to sing them. 3? Okay, so
about and then 3 songs on there that I can tell.
Always Near You and Nowhere to Hide. I think that should have been on the Elder. I mean, it was Elder-esque. Not as good as the stuff from the Elder, because I know, Rob, you said of all the Kiss stuff, Paul Stanley's is probably your favorite. I mean, that would probably be my second favorite. The Elder to me is still, and I know I'm in the small percentile who say that, but the Elder to me I think is still my favorite Kiss album.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Awesome. I mean, it's not my favorite, but it's damn close. It's top 3. My top 3 have been pretty much for the last 30 years, Lick It Up, Creatures, and the Elder, in no particular order. It just depends on my mood.
When I first heard it, man, I was kind of on the bandwagon with most everybody else. But over the years, man, I bought it finally. That's the only one I didn't buy when it came out. And I put it in my cassette player at the time. It's what it was, early 90s, something like that. And it stayed my cassette player for like 4 or 5 months, man. And that's all I listened to while I was in the car. And I love a lot of that stuff on there. But Gene Simmons just kind of throwed everybody upside down with his album, man. I mean, dude,
first of all, the day they're all released simultaneously, who's winning sales that day. It's Gene Simmons, because he's the face of Kiss. He's the evil guy. He's got the blood coming out even on this cover. Once you hear it, there's, I'm sure, a shot heard around the world of buyer's remorse. Even though Scott and me do like a few songs off there, you can't help but, once Radioactive is over, just have your jaw drop going, what the fuck is this? Peter, really, nobody had anything. No, I didn't at least know what to expect from him. I didn't expect this.
No.
But I had no preconceived, thoughts of what it would be. I kind of knew what Ace would be, the whole spacey drug stuff. And Paul, you knew it was going to be just a raw vocal schooling. That's
Kiss
Paul.
Sounding album.
Yeah, he had the most Kiss sounding album, and that's not a surprise. He's pretty much responsible for Kiss's sound.
Exactly.
But I didn't want to disrespect Freely on here, but I knew Scott would cover it. I didn't know Darren's take on the Freely solo album yet, but most people like it, as do I. It is, if you had to say pick an Ace Freely album to listen to, front to back, it would be that one. with a second, the Freely's Comet album coming in second, the debut Freely's Comet album. But I just, at the end of the day, Overplay with New York Groove, I absolutely love it, but Overplay. Same with Rip It Out. Speeding Back to My Baby almost made it because that was always one of my favorites, you know, even since childhood. The guitar work in there is something that I can't even understand how he makes the sounds from the intro to the just the weird shit what was going on. I would love to see how that was done in the studio. It's got all kinds of highlights on it, but at the end of the day, Paul's just stronger to me. So I think we covered it all pretty good. Alive 2's side 4 got some love on there from me and Scott and Darren with Rocket Ride.
And I almost put more on there. I mean,
yeah.
those are
Every
those
one
are
of
good
those songs are on there for me. Besides, any way you want it, I know that I was going to use every one of those.
Yeah,
man.
A lot of the other ones were really close. Easily could have put Larger in Life in there, a Rocket in the USA.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, it was tough from that aspect, right? I mean, I knew I could ignore most of Gene Simmons and all of Peter Criss's albums, but
if you think about it, we really didn't have as much to work with on this one because, you know, we know pretty much Peter Criss was going to be Voight. All right. So there's one album down. Gene Simmons, if anybody was going to put anything on there, it wasn't going to be but 1 or 2 at the most off of his album. So you had Paul Stanley's solo album, Aces, and a half of an album. Pretty much to work with.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank God those were good songs.
Right.
Yeah. All right. But so I know we got our homework for when I get back from Vegas. But do you want to list the next 3 Kiss albums just so we can write them down, or?
Yes. And everybody give us your album, your 3rd Kiss album, man, the trilogy album. The next one, guys, is going to be kind of fun, believe it or not, for me. Not my favorite albums, but I do like a lot of it. Dynasty, Unmasked, and for you guys, The Elder. Music from The Elder. That's going to be our next Kiss album, number 4.
I'm familiar, obviously, with The Elder, and I've listened to Dynasty a lot. Unmasked. No, I have that one. I have that one too. So I have that on vinyl. I don't have Dynasty on vinyl, but I have The Elder and Unmasked on vinyl. So,
and see, we're going to be split between that because out of those 3, I can't lie. I have to say that the go-to album for me over the years has been Unmasked for me. And I know that's kind of crazy. I love Dynasty. The Elder, I shunned it for so long, but I love a lot of it. So yeah, this is going to be tough, really tough for me right here. Don't know about y'all, but I know it's going to be tough for me. Leaving songs off now is going to be my problem.
Are we going to squeeze Trick or Treat in, or are we going to give up on that?
That's up to you guys, man.
Doesn't matter to me, Darren.
I'm good.
All right. We'll close this one down then. And until next time, thanks for watching.